Oh,
There we go.
hello!
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to our basic banter for witches episode.
I thought you were going to say our basement. Was like neither one of us are in a basement, Brittany.
Neither of us are in a basement. Yeah.
No basement. No basements. Very good.
No.
How are
Oh
we?
my God. Oh my gosh. If anyone's listened to last week's, God, I hope everyone hopefully
Oh,
everybody listens with patience because
it was fine, Britt. It was so
I'm
good.
I get so weirdly nervous when I have to do it by myself, which is so funny because you give me an Instagram reel if I have to do a live, if I have to do a reel or do something, whatever, not a problem. Talk forever. For some reason, I'm just like, I don't have anyone to banter with. I don't know what to do next, so I just rush through it.
No, I get it. I know it's like you have to pace yourself. I have no tips for that, except for I don't know. I could talk to a wall and it laugh and laugh.
Laugh and laugh.
Literally, I'm like, I don't know. It's just a different thing, but that's okay. It's all
No,
good.
I laughed. If you did, then that's awesome. If you didn't, it's not a big deal. But
Fine.
there was it was a couple things that we had gone through that we had talked about in the past that we wanted to get through. If you did listen to it, great. If you didn't, not a big deal. But I will be incorporating that information into our tarot manual, just because it
Yes.
is important just to have on hand. But then hopefully, yeah. It was good for me to know because I always get confused when it comes to certain
Yeah.
minor and major arcana and then like getting into the royalty cards. I'm like, holy fuck, what is going
Well,
on here?
in all fairness, like you do tarot, right? You do oracle, but we do it so differently that like you are
Exactly.
very textbook, like, and I'm just like, I don't know, how does it feel? I'm like, I don't know what card
Yeah.
that is, but this is what it's telling me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but I think that's where, I mean, when you take the course, you can kind of feel your own interpretation as well, because even
Yeah.
though like me and Brittany do it completely opposite ways, but I've yet to
Yeah.
see another person who does it like me and does it like
Yeah.
Brittany. You know what I mean, like, it's just
That's
different.
the thing. And that's how we would teach too, is just like let's see what is the most intuitive way for yourself.
Exactly. Intuitiveness, intuition.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know.
Which is good. But hopefully
Yeah.
everyone's had a good week.
Yeah.
We passed, what was it that we just had passed? We passed a full, no, a new moon? We passed a
Uh,
manifest.
we passed a new moon last week. We've got a full moon coming. Here in Ireland, we had St. Bridget's Day, which is also shoot, what is it? Oh God, hold on. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
One
I'm,
moment.
I'm trying to think of the holiday. The St. Bridget's Day, which is the marking of spring here. So spring. Oh my God, I can't even talk. What is the spring name? The fancy name for
Equinox? I don't know.
nope, nope. Imbolc. Imbolc.
Oh, I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah. Imbolc, also called as St. Bridget's Day, is a Gaelic tradition festival on February 1st. It marks the beginning of spring. Yes. Yes. So definitely cool because it's funny because here in
Day
Ireland,
for is in the city, right?
I'm sorry, Brittany, what?
Is that similar to what people would then also call Groundhog Day in other parts of the world?
No, oh actually, when was Groundhog Day? Was that just happened as well?
I think so.
See, it's not a thing over here. It's literally like they go by Imbolc. Or I
Okay.
shouldn't say that because definitely Ireland does, and it's like it's a holiday. Like we had Monday off because it was a holiday.
Oh. Oh.
Happy days. But now where like as far as like the Imbolic reach, obviously Imbolic is like incorporated into a lot of other things, right? But I just don't know
Oh.
if England like honors it or not honors it, but what's the word? I can't even
Also
like
celebrate it.
really recognizes it. What's the word? What did you say? What did you say?
Celebrate, even though it's not
Kind
really
of.
so. So one of those recognize would be
Acknowledge it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. But anyways, it's really cool because now like there's like I don't know if I've ever talked about daffodils on here before, but
I just
daffodils are the funniest flower I've ever seen in my life. They're so funny.
why?
Have you ever seen a daffodil?
Yeah.
They
Don't
look
we have
like
daffodils here? Or like they're like the white ones, aren't they?
no, these ones are yellow. Most of them are yellow here.
What are
I
those
think they're
ones that are weeds over here then? What are the weeds ones over here?
what? Like dandelion?
Oh, that's what I'm getting confused.
Oh my
Daffodils
God,
and
that's so funny. Yeah, no, a daffodil is like It's like a flower outside with like a little like horn on the inside, Brittany. It's like this. And whenever I
Oh,
think of it, I think of Alice in Wonderland, and I just think of the word "aw, aw," because that's what
yeah.
they do in the movie.
Weren't we just
They like
talking about
talk to
that? Yeah.
her. Aw,
Wow, wow.
aw.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're just like crybabies.
Sure. Like I think they're so funny. I truly am like, that's the funniest flower. There's beautiful flowers. There's like friendly flowers, and then there's daffodils, that I just think are like hilarious. Like what was God on when he made those?
You're just like, you know what? We need a really funny looking flower.
Exactly. So yeah.
This one will do.
Oh. Aw. That's yeah. So anyway, so there's like we're starting to see lots of those buds around, and they just
Cool.
like appear. And like it was freezing today, or not freezing, but like frosty, a little
Yeah.
frosty.
Looks a
But
little chilly.
still like they're persevering. They're tough. They're tough.
I'm
I mean,
excited
frosty.
because now you have dill seeds. So I'm wondering and curious if you were to plant dill, how well they'll take off.
Well, I mean, you didn't get me dill seeds, Brittany. You got me like dill weed, which is like
No,
dried
Mom did,
dill.
not even me. I didn't even order it. Mom did.
Oh, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It arrived here, but it's dill weed is what it is. So
I
it's
know,
not
but
dill
I want to
seed.
get you dill seeds though, and I think if I
Okay.
get you dill seeds, I wonder how well they'll take off in your
Well,
in your.
I'm when I have like my brain capacity can take on some gardening, I totally will.
I
Because my
totally
indoor
will.
plant, I'm just gonna give you a sneak peek of that's my
Mm.
Monstera. She's in crisis.
I don't she's aggressive. She has seen some
You
shit.
know what? It's like this room is so cold that I'm like, girl, there's no room for you in the house right
Oh,
now. So, and
yeah.
she's big, Jimmy, and so I have to like
Well,
chop her back.
I can only imagine too that she takes on energy in that house, and sometimes that energy is wild.
It's like all in here, Jimmy, and it's basically just me. I don't know. I need to get my shit together and get some like I have like a dream for like nice looking plants, but it's just this room is too cold.
Yeah.
So
It's
I want
that
to
part
get
of the
something.
year, or is it always cold in that room?
This room is like it's just an external room, Jimmy. It's an
Yeah.
addition. It's like mostly windows, which is lovely because then it's hot in the summer, right? But then
Right.
it's wintertime and there's one radiator in here and it's on the other side of the room. So what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I want to get up some plants that there's some that like moisture or like absorb the moisture in a room. Do you know what I mean? A
Okay. Yeah.
dehumidifying plant that like
Hmm.
takes it off. Because that is like because we live in a damp home. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want some of those. And
That'd
then
be
I
a
can
good
bring it
idea.
inside and be like, oh, it can sit in the bathroom. It can sit in the kids' rooms and it will just like eat the moisture in the room. Yeah.
Actually, super smart. That's a super smart
Yeah.
way to, yeah, even in your laundry space, you
Literally.
had,
We don't have a laundry space for you.
you don't. You don't. I know. I just, as soon as I said it, I was like, nah, ha, ha.
We have a
You're
washer and clothes to go in the
an
washer.
outside and an
And then
outside.
outside. And outside. I'll bring my
And
plant with me to the dryers in town.
oh my God, that's funny. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
I'll say,
That's so wild. I
Esther,
literally was having
Mary,
this
I brought my plant. Sorry, what?
I literally had this conversation. I can't remember who I was talking about it with, but they're just like, for Europe in general being so forward on so many things, they're just also so behind on so many things. I was
Hmm.
like, in theory, your clothes do
Oh,
smell so much better when they are outside being
yes.
wind dried, but also like it's damp as hell.
When you get the day to dry them, and like those dry days, it's like, oh man, you have to be on it because like it's just
But
awful.
frustrating if you didn't. You're like, fuck, great. And then you
Yeah.
have to worry about your clothes molding and shit. No, I'm not
Mhm.
into it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
thing. And then I'm like, it smells dirty. Actually, the sweater I was wearing today, I'm like, why does it smell? This was
Oh,
hung to dry. And it's just because like I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. It's just like,
you're stronger than me. I would be like, nope, burning it. Just gonna buy a different one, I guess, because fuck
yeah.
this shit.
Because I'm
Can't
cheap as hell. Do you know what that's
Quick.
from?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, quick, what's that from? It's from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, it is. Correct. I
I
hope
know.
everybody else gets that. Um,
I
Also, it
knew
was
right
pretty
away.
on key as well. I'm just gonna say that. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was good.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
you did really well.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
funny.
So yeah, so there's no purpose to this episode. It's just a general catch up and like chill. And
Hmm.
I always find that whenever we just chat is when like all the things come out, and I love it. So that's what we're
Yeah,
doing today.
that's what we
Um,
did.
but
As
yeah,
Lolo.
in terms of witchy life these days, honestly, it's been so fucking busy. My busy in my busy life, so busy in
Hmm.
my busy life. Um, no like news. You know what I mean? Life
Well,
is just
kids have been here and there sick.
yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a given. I feel like I'm getting sick again because it's my life. So
I
I've
wish there was a way, like a witchy way to actually help like combat that, but you've literally done everything that
done
you could
everything. Like
possibly do.
I don't know what to do. Actually, that's a lie. I mean, I don't know what to do. That's not a lie. But I talked about like investing in like my this is so awful of me because I'm like concerned about wrinkles, guys. I'm like on it. I'm like, I don't want
Oh
no
yeah,
fucking wrinkles. I'm like, no, no, no. Like I want my young skin. So I got retinol. Nice. So
Oh,
retinol to put on at night. And
love
then
it.
I
Yeah.
got this red light hand thingamabobber, but it does
Mhm.
red light, blue light, and green light.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, she's nice. So I like did that tonight, and then I put my retinol on. I was like, oh, I feel like some, touched by the skin.
Uh, I feel touched by the skin.
And
You're
as
so
soon as I
funny.
said it, I'm like, Jessica,
Yes. I literally, so super random on that topic. I was watching a reel on Instagram because that's where I get everything in my life at this moment.
here.
And they were talking about how when it comes to noticing someone who is a sociopath versus someone who is not,
Oh God.
they can't make the same facial expressions as somebody else during crisis or show emotion the same as other people. So if
Crisis, you
some
say? No kidding.
crisis, so when you notice someone who has grown up with like who's like grown up as a child with like lots of big laughter, like lots of big happy emotions, you'll notice like they'll start to have little crow's feet by 17, 18. And then you'll also notice the emotions in like their forehead for like when you scrunch of like excitement or like, oh my God, or um
Sorry, this
any
is
type
for
of emotional
regular
expression.
people or sociopaths?
Regular people.
They get those crow's feet at 18?
Oh yeah, because they've been expressing emotion shown visibly on their face for so many years of their life. Whereas sociopaths don't know how to do that, so they will never have anything because they don't know how to express emotions the same unless they've practiced so that way they can fit in, but then not be shown, not the, how do I put that? Not be
No, I think you're like
not judged or targeted, but like so people wouldn't catch on that they like
yeah.
don't really know
It's
what
like
it is.
masking, right? It's like trying to blend in. But
That's
then
it.
didn't you say the same for like anybody who like suffers with like not suffers, but like what's the word? I can't words are hard today. I forgot the name for shoulder today.
Oh,
Um
no.
what for people who are like deprived of social cues, do you know what I mean? Like, look at this. This is
Okay.
nice. This is so nice.
Deprived of social cues.
I mean, socially inept. Do you know what I mean when they like or like it's like I don't know. Some people just don't have cues. I don't think that makes them a sociopath. Because then what's the definition of a sociopath? Let's start there.
Well, well, the example that they use is if someone were to this example was this gentleman who had walked up to a pretty grisly scene of a car accident and a mom was holding their little one who was no longer with us. She was quite emotional, obviously very distraught. The people around were very distraught, and this gentleman the whole time, instead of being like, "Oh, that's awful," or "That's okay," or like, "Sorry, that's awful," I can't even imagine, blah blah blah. In his brain, he's just literally like, "I think I'm gonna put lettuce on my tacos today. I'm gonna head out to the taco place right away, and I think I'm just gonna do lettuce." Like literally couldn't connect with what they were feeling,
Okay.
and and then later on that night, that same person is trying to practice in the mirror the emotions that he saw people do that day so he could try to like mimic the same so that way
Yeah.
he would know what he would do next
That's
time.
like a special type. That's like a yeah, I
Well,
understand like
sociopath doesn't
sociopath.
mean good things,
I
Jessica.
know. Oh, I know. But like I was like Googling and I'm like, what's an antisocial personality disorder? So so an antisocial personality disorder, sometimes called sociopath, a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right or wrong and ignores the rights of feelings of others. So I think it's
Mhm.
like, I don't know, lack of empathy, okay, impulsive behavior, attempting to control others or threats with aggression, using into the word sorry, using intelligence, charm, or charisma to manipulate others, not learning from mistakes or punishment, lying for personal gain, and showing a tendency toward physical violence or fights. So now what you're describing though is like if he's going home and practicing because he's aware, then I just don't, I mean, I understand that there's like obviously there's a lot of other behavior outside of this. But I'm like, but does that not show that he's more
That's the
inept?
thing is like some sociopaths though
Yeah.
are aware of that they are, and like maybe those are also the same that end up being serial killers,
Yeah.
is they're trying to hide, being
Like,
like shit, like I have to
ex-
act this way if I don't, so I don't get caught, et cetera, et cetera. So it was just an interesting point. And so then I
exactly.
also wondered, I'm like, oh, interesting. So I wonder if then people that are sociopaths, if they don't have any wrinkles at all because their facial expressions are completely different than
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Because
they're
like
not going to be the ones running for Botox.
no, that's true.
They won't give a
What
shit
it comes down to,
anyway.
no wrinkles. Absolutely no
Yeah.
wrinkles. And I'm like, my wrinkles are not bad. I mean, you can't even see them. Oh, there you go.
Why do they bother you so much?
Because I see them every day.
Why does that bother you?
Because it bothers me every day. No, you know how it goes. I'm like, I don't know. Gotta like, I want to do the Zheng Shua, Gua Sha,
Gua sha? Yeah.
Gua Shua. I just feel like I'm like, oh gosh, like I definitely have like, what is that word? God, these words are so hard. If I could just think this podcast instead of talk it, it'd be easier.
Hmm.
Telepathy tapes. Did we talk about those yet?
No, we haven't yet.
Ah, so did you listen
Transition,
to them yet?
transition, transition.
Transition.
No,
That's
we've been
what we're gonna
wanting
talk
to.
about.
I haven't actually listened to them yet, but I had
Oh
heard
my
such.
gosh. You have
So
to.
if
You
you
absolutely
have,
have to.
I know. I've actually heard a lot like other podcasts talking about them quite a
Yeah.
bit. So I definitely have
Yeah.
the understanding of what they're about. I just haven't actually listened to them
Yeah.
firsthand.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell me about stuff.
It is good for the brain to like kind of think about that, I think. Now I it's interesting because I like come from a world where like I deal a lot with speech therapists and I have a history with them and like I'm, entwined in that kind of spot. A few of my friends are speech paths or SLTs and an audiologist. And so like I'm aware, of like what they do. Let's just say that. And then when it comes down to specifically the nonverbal autistic group, it's amazing. And I sent the podcast. I need to follow up my girls because I sent to them and I said, hey, like listen to this and let me know what you think. And I haven't heard
Yeah.
anything. But I think after listening to the podcast, I understand why they maybe not be able to reach out because it could, you know, it is up for debate, especially
Yes.
with their licenses. They can't necessarily say, yeah, I totally agree, da, 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 because it could jeopardize their licensing because of the licensing company doesn't view it or
Right.
doesn't recognize it, right?
But I'm sure you are not the first person to ever ask them, what do you think
Oh
about this?
gosh, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, I should follow up with them just to see.
Yeah. Well, then why don't you explain a little bit just for the people that are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. So the telepathy tapes is like a case study that was done. I guess it sounds like it's been over the course of quite a few years here.
Couple years, yeah, it seems like
Now,
it.
based on, okay, I guess where I can start is there's this place called The Hill.
Mhm.
And The Hill is this place where autistic non-speaking individuals are able to telepathically go. So the way we kind of start here is there's an individual who's like met these friends and is talking about going to the hill. It's like how? What? So essentially it's like a form of meditation that they can transport themselves and meet other collective individuals from their area, from their state, from their country, from all over the world.
Hmm.
So it's not like there's only one hill, there's multiple different communities in this sense. So within this documentary, we find out, you know, I guess how accessible it is if speaking like non autistics would be able to go. And I mean, general consensus is yes, as long as they're there for good reason and to be kind. Like there's rules to get into the hill. Like it's really, really neat.
Wow.
But another part of the study is somebody who works hand in hand with nonverbal or typing individuals, the ones who spell or spellers, rather than speaking or vocally speaking. Um, the connection that they have with their caregivers is again like kind of one of those like you knew what I was thinking. Like she just knew what I was thinking, right? And it is like it's a telepathy thing. It's like they're reading our minds. Or all of a sudden it's in conjunction. They can read each other's minds. And more or less it comes down to, the caregiver being like, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it was just he knew exactly what I was talking about. Or what are we like,
Hmm.
yeah, or he knew what happened over the weekend, even though I hadn't said it, or whatever it is. So it's a really interesting study. So definitely would recommend it if you're looking for an additional podcast to this one.
Yes.
It's 10 episodes, like it's a little mini series. I think there will be a season two.
That's
But it
cool.
was really great. I think they're like 40-minute episodes, so they're easy to digest. They're not too heavy,
Oh.
but they're
Mhm.
definitely like investigative, really well put
Yeah,
together. There's a site with all of her stuff as well. But yeah, the telepathy tapes is the name.
that's neat. Yeah, because one of the podcasts that I was listening to that just happened to touch on it at the same time was like it's interesting that most of the caregivers either happen to be their moms or female,
Yeah.
whereas they wonder if they would have the same results if the caregiver was male or their fathers. They
Go ahead.
hadn't
Go ahead.
done at that moment, they hadn't done
Yeah.
as much with a male versus female, so they weren't sure if that was part of the reason. But again, the testing was all very much like in that second. There was no way to prep either of the caregiver or the child
Yeah.
who tried to influence the results. So it's interesting nonetheless, but you got to wonder if it female or male perspective also.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Uh,
because like a lot of the individuals like that are autistic or non-speaking are men or are male. Do you know what I mean?
oh,
So in
right.
that sense, it's not like it's yes, you're right. The caregivers or like those taken care of do tend to be female in this instance, but
In that
the
instance,
but
yeah.
the autistics are also they're all over. They're male and they're
Yeah.
female.
Well, that's
Um,
why it was just it's so interesting. There's so many different things that they can do to go forward with their testing if there happened to be questions, if it was based on a female male,
yeah,
or if it was just, yeah,
yeah.
there's just so much they can do with it. It's just really neat.
Exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, just because we're on that note here, so yeah, we said it's a podcast, but they have a website. I think they've got social media as well, where you can kind
Hmm.
of meet these families, um, and see because like they're individuals, they're real people.
Yeah, these
And
are,
yeah, one of my favorite ones, I don't know the name, I can't remember the little boy's name, but he speaks through his iPad primarily.
oh, that's
And it
cool.
was like he was guessing or stating whatever his mom's number was or whatever, but he was in a completely different room behind a partition. Like there's witnesses to this, and they're like,
Yeah.
this is happening. And like she wrote down a number, and then he started saying the number on the iPad. And it's like there's
Wow.
no cameras, there's no nothing.
Yeah,
Akil.
there's no
Akil.
chance. What's
Yeah.
his name?
Akil. Akhil. Akil.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
I
like
love.
it's there's so many like and you could go in and look at their individual case files. Anyways, okay, so that's my like love story to the telepathy tapes. It was really good. It was just like, I've kind of been in a dry spell with my podcast because I'm not
Oh,
like I still love all my podcasts, but I don't necessarily want to listen to true crime right now, all the time.
fair. Yeah,
So
you
I'm
go through
like, but I
phases with
also
everything though,
but
right?
yeah, I listen to all the things, but then right now it's like either pop culture, which is trash right now, like everything's trash, or there's true crime, and I'm like, I just like I don't have there's nothing good. See what I mean? Not as that they're great podcasts, but like it's too heavy for me right now. Okay, Siri, I
Oh
was
yeah. Yeah, depending on what I listen to, depending like if I'm in the car. Yeah, like there's all different things that I'm like, no, that's used for when I want to do this, or this is what I want to listen to when I want to do this. And
yeah,
yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
yeah. So I don't know. With all the things going on right now, like, I just need something that's like fluff. But I've been reading a
Yeah.
lot more, so that's good.
Which is also a big deal.
Yeah, I'm into that. It's good. I've got a few books going on the moment, so
Are you into the whole new, no, since it's not a new thing. I don't know what the book genre is other than fairy smut, but it's like Onyx
oh,
Storm,
I
those
bet
things.
you.
Is that something?
Is it like a Court of Thorn and Roses or something like that?
Sure. I have no
Echotar.
idea.
I don't have those books. No, I'm like, I don't know. My book club books are like pretty like good. Actually, we're gonna be reading the Lessons in Chemistry this month, but I'm finishing up Water by John Boyne right now, and that's really good. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah. So
I'm sure having a book club is also really nice to actually have like a bit
yeah,
of like I don't know what I want to list or what
I,
not listen watch, but you know what I mean.
yeah. My book club knows how much I love my book club because they're all
Mhm.
freaking amazing. And Jackie, who listens to this podcast, we were at our last one and there was a few new members, and we're like, this is not a cult, but if it was a cult, it'd be like a cult for Jackie because she's amazing. We just all love
Culture.
Jackie. And every time we
I
get
love
to her, oh Jackie, oh Jackie, oh Jackie.
Oh, I
So
love it. Well, speaking, so not really off topic, but kind of off topic because I can't remember what your friend's name is, and I don't know if you mentioned it last time. But the one that is was going through the double mastectomy or the one
Uh-huh.
mastectomy.
Yeah.
You had mentioned one of the last times we had talked that you guys were going to get together to do something special for her. Did you
Yes.
end up doing that?
No, we didn't. No, I was quite ill. I was still like
Oh,
recovering from my flu, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't get
no,
her
we
sick.
can't.
And then a few other people started getting sick. So I was like, okay, that's just not worth it.
Oh,
So, I mean, in the meantime, I've provided a couple meals. We've had a meal train going around,
oh,
which is
good.
really nice. I mean, I know she appreciates it. That's kind of all we can do, because
Hmm.
she's had the surgery. She had a
Oh, is
single
this
mastectomy.
single? Okay, I couldn't remember what you had said. Okay.
And like she's
Recovered
recovering
from
well
one?
physically, but like mentally, it's a whole game. Do you know what I mean? And she's got young children. Like I think maybe they're 8, 9, or 10, one of them. But I mean,
That's so
it's
busy.
it's confusing though because it's a bit, it's why,
Yeah.
it's so she was kind of going over with me a little bit about how it's her son was like, "Can I hug you? Does it hurt?" And she's like, "No, you can hug me." Like, it's confusing because they
Yeah.
have like it's not what it used to be, and she has to have like a drain and all this stuff. So it's like
Oh,
she's a
yeah.
little bit machiney right now. So,
Oh, shit.
it's tough. I totally get where she's coming from, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
so
I
hard.
know it's as knock on wood, I've never had to deal with that firsthand myself, but like I understand that it's
But
hard.
she's so lucky to have the support and the friends that she does have with all of you guys being able to be like, what do you need? What will we do?
Yeah.
Was she part of your book club as well?
No. So I met her so there's a couple things. She's on my soccer team. That's how I met her initially. And then I'm part
Oh,
of a North American group where it's like a bunch of North American women in my area. And it's mad, but it's great. But she's in
perfect.
that as well. So she's an American living here. So
Oh, I would be very curious of how much she had to pay for her. This is totally again off topic of how much she had to pay
yeah,
for
I
this
don't
type of
know.
procedure versus what she would have had to pay back home.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, seriously. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
So
but
hard to say. Never know.
I just don't know. I just don't
It's
know.
crazy. It's crazy, but we're thinking of you, and hopefully you get to do something fun and witchy for her sooner or later, because that would be pretty wonderful.
Yeah,
You
no,
have to keep us
hopefully.
updated on that, that's for sure, because I definitely want to
No,
know how it
for
goes.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to do something for it. Like I said, it just has to align with everybody else if they want to do it. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Um, what has been going on for our witchy life over here? Hmm.
Well,
Definitely. Oh, you like I've been actually I feel like I've been connecting more to a lot of again, I always talk with her about her, Molly, of her like witchy ways to like her witchy videos to like make life less hard.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's nice. So like little things like if you want to clean your house, like just imagine this type of intention of whatever that is, and it'll help motivate you that much more to get it done. So I definitely feel like that's what I've been doing a bit more. Uh yeah, like this is so silly, but I was able to like do like a really thorough clean of my like top floor of my house yesterday. And I haven't been able to do that in like a long time, and it felt so good. It still feels good now. Where I'm like, like wash the walls and like do
My
different things that I'm
God.
like, holy shit, I need to do this. But then the whole time I'm like, oh my God, this feels so much fucking better. And then
Yeah.
yeah, it's just those little things that you're like, I finally have like energy to do it, or you're motivated and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
It's once you find that momentum, it's easy to like keep trucking on. But man, oh man, like getting that momentum in order is like,
Well, that's it,
um,
exactly it.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I feel like I've definitely been drawn to wanting to do more witchy things. Um, but I've been noticing my energy lately. How do we put this? It's been a really weird energy towards other people lately, where it's not that it's not that I'm not supportive. It's just the weird of like, really, you're doing that? And I'm like, oh, that's so not like me. And I hate that. So I'm like,
Becoming
what
a
the
little
hell?
judgy bitch.
I am being judgy and I don't understand. I don't understand. That's not
Yeah.
typically like me. So I'm like, okay, we got to go into this. We got to, what the frick is
Yeah.
going on?
Got some layers to peel back there. But obviously,
Yeah.
like, I mean, that can, ebb and flow. Like,
Well, that's the thing. And I need to read my cards about it. But I know when I had done my New Year's full moon stuff, or not New Year's full moon, the New Year's card pull for the new year here. Um, for February, it was the 5th of Michael, which was releasing the attachment to the outcome, which I definitely needed because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like things that I just expect are going to happen a certain way that I'm like, no, I can't even think about it anymore. I have to just like let it go.
Yeah.
So I think I also am getting a little too attached to social media again, where I'm like, holy shit,
Me
I gotta go.
too. Yeah. I'm like definitely like I need it's not even so yeah, that's just bad.
Yeah.
Mine's TikTok.
Yeah. So which is like it's a good and a bad thing because I want to start doing reels or TikToks for the basic banter so that way I can kind of help Jessica out a little bit. But there's just like so much. I'm like, okay,
Like
I gotta get
literally,
what
it's
I'll never do.
so it's like such a small, minuscule thing that like
Mm.
why would you
And it
but
should be fun,
it's
and I don't want it
huge.
to be
No,
hard.
but it's a huge responsibility. And then it's like, oh, but I haven't posted. This podcast is actually one of those things as well. Because I'm like, oh, we have a week release, we gotta stick to it, we gotta stick to it. I'm like, we're not like under pressure from anybody to do that. But the pressure we've put on ourselves to do it because we still want to do it. And we're like, oh fuck, what are we gonna post this week? It's like we don't have to post
Yeah.
anything. We can
No, and that's the thing. It's because we still want it to be fun, and
want to
we
do
wouldn't
it.
want to. Yeah, that's the thing. Like if we didn't find joy in it anymore, then we wouldn't do it, obviously. But we want to, but we want to make sure it's like the best we can
Yeah.
because we want to give all the most amazing info we can to
Yeah.
others. But it's hard to think of it in the
Yeah.
moment, and all the stress and anxiety, and it's just a big whirlwind of crazy.
Totally. It's like anxiety and dull. And like
Yes.
when but like in all honesty, like we have lots to talk about, but I'm like at the point where I'm like, do people still want to listen to us? Do they still want to check in? Are we
That's
entertaining enough? Are we engaging enough? Are we putting out the right material? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh God, what have we have not talked about? Oh frick, we've already talked about it. Or like,
right.
I said to Brittany, I'm like, so maybe we should revisit some of our old episodes and like
Yeah.
redo them. But then
Yeah.
also, I'm like, but should like, I guess again, like I feel like when we started this podcast, there was a need in the world for something like it, right? I'm not saying
Yeah.
that we don't have that need is not there anymore, but I think we've grown, and so the podcast needs to grow with us to whatever we want
Mhm.
it to be. Do you know what I mean? It's not like lessons in X, Y, and Z anymore. It should be a little bit more
Yeah.
in depth, maybe. I don't know, but those are my
It's
thoughts.
so hard to say. No, I get it. It's so hard to say because like we need to reflect a bit of like what we want to do next with the episode. And if
Yeah,
maybe this is the last season that we do weekly, and maybe we do like a bi-weekly
yeah,
instead. And it's a bit longer episodes, but it's so hard to say because again, we bring joy from it. I love looking forward to a weekly episode, not only making one with you, but like if I have a podcast that I really enjoy listening to, I want it to come out.
yeah,
So
yeah. I don't
we'd
know.
love input from everybody else if there's
Yeah,
input that if you'd like to see us weekly or bi-weekly, just
yeah,
have a longer episode every 2 weeks
yeah.
or whatever.
But then also, again, we don't need validation from anyone. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm like, this
No.
podcast should be about us and should work
Yeah.
for us the way we want it to. And that's because I feel like we reach out to our listeners and be like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? And I think like being authoritative and being like, nope, this is what we've decided is a lot
Mhm.
more like form of conviction. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, like, no,
Yeah.
I think we just have to do it. Whatever we decide to do is going to do it. This is
Mhm.
my thoughts out loud. Sorry, team. But do you know what I mean?
It's one
Like,
of those, no, it's one of those things. There's I forget where, I forget where this is coming from. I can't remember what the movie or the TV show is, but they're like, you can't worry about what, what everyone's gonna think. And then the other person's like, but then what are they gonna say? I can't remember what that's from. Oh my God, it's
yeah.
so funny. But I think
Yeah.
often when I'm like, no, no, you can't.
Yeah. It
It's
reminds
so
me of there's this theory out there. I can't remember the name of the girl who put it together. It's called the let them theory. It's
Oh,
like
Mel
the things
Robbins.
that are not in our control. Like I
Mhm.
cannot control what they're gonna do, so I'm just gonna let them do what they gotta do and disconnect from it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
let
which
them.
is so hard though. Holy shit.
Also, it's very like freeing because it's like, yeah, okay, let them. Let them. Go ahead, do it, do it. Go ahead. I don't,
Yeah.
doesn't affect me anymore, right? I don't claim that energy.
Well, trying to let go of that energy. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's tough, but then it's so very rewarding if you are
Yeah.
able to let go. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, I'm in my like don't give a fuck era. So
That's
like
great though. I
just
envy that.
is is that a good thing?
Well,
Is
it's
it a good
better than
thing?
the me stage where I'm just like, I'm just going to be frozen in anxiety
Yeah.
and have a list of lots of things that I want to get done that'll bring me joy that I physically can't do because I'm frozen.
Crazy. But making the list was fun. Yeah.
Oh, I love making a list. God
Making a
damn it,
list.
do I ever love a list?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm just kind of like, that's where I'm like torn. I'm like, give a fuck. Don't give
Yeah,
a fuck.
that's Mel Robbins, the Let Them Theory.
Okay, it is. Okay, I thought so.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't
Alrighty.
listened to that episode just yet, but I know it's going to bring me joy.
I've heard about you're so funny. I would love to see your list of things that bring you joy and just how long it is. And like you'll finish that list when you're like
Dead.
57, when you're dead.
When I'm no longer on
Yeah.
this earth as a physical being, it'll
Yeah.
still be going.
Yeah. Did I tell you that Colin like has learned a little bit about dying? But
No.
like he says, oh my
Oh,
God, so dramatic, but also
so dramatic. Oh
like
no.
as I say that, he's like, it sounds so bad when I'm like say it out loud, but like, what was it today? Oh yeah. So today he did not want to wear his uniform. He did not want to listen to me or Ryan. And Ryan was in the front and he's like, come here, come here. And he's like, no. And I'm like, no, come over, like over here, like dad has something for you. He's like, no, I'm gonna go be dead myself. Like, what?
What?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go be dead. I was like, no, you're not. No,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, who taught you this? Who
Yeah.
taught
Wonder
you
where that came
I was
from.
dead? Like, because it's like we have a pretty good like lock and key over the stuff that they watch. So obviously there's something
Well,
like
maybe someone said something at school.
I'm gonna go be dead. Like, what?
You did. What
I'm
the
gonna go
fuck did
be
you say?
dead. Yeah, and then I don't want to be dead. I don't want. Yeah, I'm like I know, like
You're
I
like,
don't either, buddy. Like you know. So yeah, anyway, so
oh,
that's something that we're dealing with a 5-year-old. Like, great, okay,
see,
don't go be dead.
and that's hard because I remember when our friend's little boy, I think could have been 4 or 5 when it happened. I can't remember, but they had lost their pup. And every time I saw him, he would tell me that his dog had died. I was like, I know, I'm so sorry. Are you feeling okay? And he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's sad. I'm like, yeah. And then he'd move on, but he had to tell me every time where I'm like, okay.
yeah, yeah.
And it's hard to know even what to say.
Like yeah,
If there's
because
anything
I'm just
like,
like, don't be saying this kind of stuff. But like,
yeah. I'm like,
anyways,
what? What?
no. Anyways, that episode took a turn. Anyways, let's do a powerful. I'm gonna do my new deck for Miss Jackie. Unusual animal messages
I
for the
love it.
unusual, which is moi.
For the unusual, like the Beetlejuice movie, #1. I am unusual.
I'm sorry, what?
Have you never seen Beetlejuice?
Uh, yes, but what are you talking?
So when why can't I think of her real name?
Delia?
The
Who, Beetlejuice? Oh,
daughter. Is the
Delia.
daughter Cecilia? When she's like, it's super dark and unusual, and I am dark and unusual.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I was like, what do you mean #1, Dark and Unusual? I love that. That movie's fantastic.
I
You
haven't
know?
seen the second one yet. I've been wanting to, but it's one of
Oh,
those things where you don't want to see a sequel because you don't want it to wreck the first one. And I'm like,
yeah,
I want to see it
exactly.
so bad, but
Yeah, no, it's way too
again,
good.
it's on my list of bring me
Yeah,
joy. But there's
yeah,
just,
yeah. I feel like, okay, but then the first one has Catherine O'Hara in it, right? Does the second one have Catherine O'Hara in it too?
as far as I know, they brought back almost the entire rest of the cast. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, maybe I should watch it. But I'm just like a loser who barely watches new things. Although, yeah, I'm just like,
I hear it. There's so many, like I said, my to-do list of shows to watch and movies to see is very long, and I
yeah.
don't know what it is, but I would rather watch the same shit over and over again.
That is a
So,
trauma response, I think, to too much on your plate. That's all I'm gonna
yeah.
say. That's all I'm gonna say. Too
So
much
I'm
going
gonna be
on.
yeah.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
I'm gonna be pulling from the deck my Fairy Wisdom Oracle, which I had originally
Ooh.
pulled for last week until I was like, oh, I'm doing tarot. That's not gonna work. So I pulled from this deck. Oh, and it's funny. It's the birth of magic. And
Ooh.
it's purple. It's nice and purple. It's she was a fairy. Anyways,
It's a
so
fair.
here lies a message to open your heart and find that small child within you. That childlike joy, trust, and awe often gets stifled as we grow into adulthood. Remember to see the magic through the child's eyes and mind. Recall the spirit of the fairy child within who laughs and sings with abandon. Bring that essence into your daily life by rejoicing in nature. See beyond the adult mind and into the reality of the elemental world around you. Ask for help of the elementals in connecting with the magic within and bringing it out into all you do. As humans, we tend to get hung up on our duties, our accomplishments, what we have and what we don't have. We take life way too seriously. If you have small children in your life, watch them and see how they respond to the world around them. They come from pure emotion and pure joy. Their excitement in even the smallest things is essentially their spirit rejoicing at just being. The sound of a tiny chime sends them into peals of laughter. A multicolored surround of light is enchanting and awe-inspiring to them. The taste of a new food brings a look of incredulous to their faces. They absorb everything completely. They're not halted by fears or what ifs. They live to explore and learn and to learn and to rejoice. They live in the now. Everything is a miracle to them, as it actually is to us if we would just realize it. Practice your world seen through the eyes of a child, unfiltered and open to what life has to offer. If you've chosen this card, it's possible that a small child is coming into your life, or you may be working with a small child or your small child within. So it said skip instead of walking today.
Okay. Well then, shall
That's a
we?
fun card. That's a fun
That's a
card.
very good card. I quite like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's fun. And you know what? Honestly, I didn't really, you know how you don't really realize how much you need a message until it's said, or you're like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, why am I getting so hung up on the things? Why can't I just like see it like as if it's for the first time ever?
Oh, just stop having anxiety? I didn't know I could do that.
I'll just stop. Yeah, exactly. It's fine. I'll
What?
just like, we're done.
That's it.
We're
Oh, I
done
could just
today.
stop? Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God. Exactly. Oh yeah. Didn't know. So I pulled the card. I
So,
haven't looked at it yet though.
ooh,
Da-da-da-da. Ooh, it's called the Sea Pen. We are all interconnected.
ooh, that's pretty.
Well, let's have a little goosey gander. This is unusual and I'm into it.
I love it.
Hold
Thanks,
on.
Jackie, for also helping us be unusual.
Freaking love Jackie. Brittany, I can't wait for you to meet her one day.
I know, I
Like,
can't wait.
she's
One day I'll finally get to meet all of your people there.
should have a freaking we should freaking get together.
I know. It might
Okay.
be a season.
So the Sea Pen reminds us that we are all interconnected. We exist as part of a larger ecosystem that relies on interdependence and balance to stay healthy. This unique marine animal takes the phrase better together to new heights. It's not one animal, but a colony of smaller animals called polyps that have landed, I can't talk, but have
You're doing
banded
better than
together to
me.
work as a single unit. The main polyp forms a stalk by losing its tentacles and anchoring itself to the seafloor, while the supporting polyps form the branches. Each, each polyp has a specialized function. That's again what it looks like there.
Yeah.
Um, some polyps assist in digestion, while others might aid in reproduction. The colony must work together to ensure survival. Using the sea pen as an example, we can begin to understand how interconnected we truly are, not just one with one another, but also in the world as a whole. We exist as a cohesive unit working together. However, when we only focus on our individual needs, it can be a recipe for disaster. This creates an unbalanced ecosystem that no longer functions for anyone. Fortunately, there's plenty of room to honor both our unique selves and our interconnectedness. So, think about the concept of an ecosystem on a micro level. Your life is a great example. In how many ways is your life interconnected with that of everyone around you? This includes your family, your friends, everyday workers. Now expand the thought and consider the ecosystem on a macro level. This includes society and the world at large. Once you start to recognize the complex reality of interconnected systems, you'll have a greater appreciation for the whole. We are all interconnected.
I love it. I
When I
love
think of
it.
that, I just think of like, there's like, especially with the world being on fire right now, it's like, oh, but it doesn't have a whole lot to do with me, but it like does. It's still gonna
Well, and
affect
it does that like a cellular level.
like, yeah,
So you don't
you know what I
even
mean? But
think
it's
it.
like it still affects you. And like that's part of my issue with social media right now is like I just like I'm drawn in to all the evil crap because I'm like, oh, I should be informed. It's like I am going to actually go crazy with the
Yeah.
amount of negative shit everywhere. So
Yeah. And that's the thing is you're not alone either, but it's just a lot.
it's just a lot.
A lot to take.
A lot. It's just a lot.
It's just a lot. So I think for our next episode,
Huh?
because of It
Yes.
being Valentine's Day, I wonder if that is the episode where we should do tarot pull for everybody.
Oh, fun times. We could do romance readings or
We should
something.
do romance. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Romance reading. Yes.
So I think if you're listening to this now, you know where to go to submit your question. If you want to DM us, email us, or like I said, there's always in our link tree.
Yeah.
You can find us at,
Basic banter for witches. Wait, what?
yeah, that's you.
Okay, I thought you said at. I thought you said at. I was like, basic banter for witches on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And then yeah, our link tree is there. And now I was just thinking, I'll do a special Valentine's Day form for you to fill out, and it's literally
Ooh,
gonna have
cute.
like no information that we, enough to know that it's you, but not enough for us to know who you are. Let's just say
Yeah, I
that.
like that. I like that.
I'm
That'll be
excited.
fun. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll make a post here shortly after this has been this episode is launched. So that way encourages you that if you have any questions about love life, self-love, all that fun stuff, you just shoot us a little question. And then when the episode comes out on the 15th, then you'll have your question answered.
Yay! I love it.
Yay! So you could also email us at basicbanterforwitches@gmail.com. I don't know if Jessica already said that, but
No.
she had said our social
Yeah.
media handles, so at least there's that for sure.
Yeah.
Link trees in our bios, all that wonderful stuff. And yeah,
I
sounds
love
good.
it.
Or have questions
Hooray!
or comments of what we kind of went through today, you're more than welcome to reach out and have a chat with us. If you would like to be on the podcast, we have
Yeah.
10 episodes left for this year. If you want to
Yeah.
be a guest,
Be a guest on our
just
show.
shout us out. We're
Come
totally
chat with
here
us.
for it.
Basically,
Yeah.
you know what it's like. You're just hanging out with us. You know what? And I
Yeah.
say that I'll put that out to anybody because you don't have to be like into anything specific. You can just want to come and hang out with us and like chat about shit. Like it's fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know.
We love it. We love it. We love you. I love you.
I love you. I love you all
So,
too. But I love you,
yeah.
Brittany. You're the best.
I love you, Jessica.
You're the
I love
best.
you.
I love you. Okay.
Love it.
Anyways. Okay,
Okay. Well,
bye.
everyone have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
See you
Bye-bye now.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.